Hurdle is the first race, and John Russell Selection Leading Bounty is the tote favourite at $3. Others in the market may be rough $8.80. Creme de Salary $7.60. I'm Looking Good $8.80. And they're all set to go. The rest are double figures on Cup Day. Here's John Russell.
As they get set, the red man is in. And they're all locked away and set to go on the first of the day. First of 10 races here on Melbourne Cup Day of 1997 here at Royal Flemington. Maybe Rough, the inside runner, Reba Dice. They're off to a great start in the hurdle and caught them in an even line too, and Maybe Rough, one of the first to jump out with Glasnov, who began well. And Reba Dice is in behind them, and Force Toss is going forward. Just Dynamite leading Bounty up in the leading group, and so is the grey Magic Viewer. And I'm Looking Good is just in behind them, followed by the red man going fast on the outside. Tennessee Oak and Cream de Celery is one of the tail enders as they jump that second hurdle, which leads them onto the course proper in the straight down the straight the first time now. Magic View in charge, about a length to Reba Dice, who's close handy. Close up on the inside behind them then is Maybe Rough on the rails, being followed by Force Toss. A length and a half further back, the red man, followed by Just Dynamite. Glasnov is over on the inside. I'm Looking Good is racing about 3 off the rail, being followed by Rajanu at the fourth jump in the straighter. Grey Sovereign in behind them. Tennessee Oak and Cream de Celery. Leading Bounty's got back in the field. He's second last, and top that is last of all as they race down the straight with just over a circle left to go. And the leader here is Magic View. Magic View at that one leads a length to Force Toss in second place on the outside. Oh, there's one down, Cream de Celery. Cream de Celery down at that fifth hurdle in the straighter. So one of the fancied runners is out of the race early in the piece as they sweep out of the straight. 2,200 metres left to go, and Magic View is the leader. Magic View's in charge, about a length and a half in advance of Force Toss, who's second. They're closely followed further back in the field then by Reba Dice, and a just been behind them a bit further back in the field came I'm Looking Good is now over on the rails. A length and a half further back, Maybe Rough, being followed by the red man as they jump that first of the hurdles along the riverside. On the outside is Just Dynamite, a length and a half. Rajanur, Tennessee Oak behind them, followed by Grey Sovereign, then leading Bounty second last, and top that is last of all. They're racing down the riverside section here at the jump near the 1700. Magic View the leader, and jumped that nicely, 2 lengths to Force Toss. Half a length further back is Reba Dice, being followed by I'm Looking Good and Maybe Rough in behind them. Then the red man, Glasnov, is on the inside of Just Dynamite, a length and a half. Rajanur, Grey Sovereign further back, followed by Tennessee Oak, second last, leading Bounty, and top that is last of all. And 12 lengths covers the field in the hurdle as they go by the 1,400 metre mark with that distance left to go. And the leader, Magic View, 2 lengths ahead of Force Toss, a length away Reba Dice. Then came I'm Looking Good at the next jumper, a length and a half Maybe Rough, followed by the red man. Rajanur behind them, Just Dynamite, and then Glasnov, and a good long way back in the field. Still leading Bounties among the tail enders, being passed by Top That, and well back to Grey Sovereign as they come down the side of the track with just over 1,000 metres left to go. Magic View still travelling well, led about 3 lengths in advance of Force Toss on the inside of the red man. A length and a half further back then is I'm Looking Good, and here comes Maybe Rough putting in a claim as they jump that third last hurdle. They're followed by Reba Dice, now being hard-ridden. Behind them, Rajanur, and a good long way back to Glasnov. Leading Bounty, giving the leaders about 8 lengths start, but starting to close a bit. So is Tennessee Oak and Just Dynamite, and Grey Sovereign is last of all as they come up to the 600 metre mark, where now the red man is putting in a claim to go up and join Magic View as they're making the home turn. Deeper on the track, joining in Maybe Rough with a good run, and Force Toss has had a nice run behind them, and I'm Looking Good coming down the outside, and they're followed by leading Bounty, is still a fair way back with Tennessee Oak at the second last jump. Maybe Rough the leader, tackled by I'm Looking Good and Force Toss over on the inside. Then came leading Bounty, is only struggling at this point, and Tennessee Oak was coming home pretty well. It's I'm Looking Good on the outside taking the lead. Force Toss jumped it a bit awkwardly. I'm Looking Good as the leader, Force Toss on the inside, and here comes Tennessee Oak with a great run. Tennessee Oak is coming after these leaders. I'm Looking Good just in advance of Tennessee Oak. I think he's got them. Tennessee Oak takes the lead. Tennessee Oak's got up to score from I'm Looking Good and Force Toss. Behind them Maybe Rough, and behind them is Reba Dice. Further back leading Bounty, a gap then to Glasnov, and further away Just Dynamite, followed by Rajanur and the red man, and Grey Sovereign behind them. Magic View stopped very badly, second last, and Top That's run last. Tennessee Oak, at his second start over the jumps, has triumphed at $11.10 for the win. So Graham Rogerson starts the day off on a great note. He's got a couple of excellent chances later in the day with Pinpanti and, of course, Ebony Grove in the Melbourne Cup. And here comes Tennessee Oak, ridden by Michael Patton, who's throwing everything bar his boot at this horse. And the tactics have succeeded because he's thrown that horse over the line to score from I'm Looking Good. And the third placing goes to Force Toss, who made a mess of the last one, as you saw there. Cost him a couple of lengths, I reckon. But as it unfolded in the run home, Tennessee Oak outstaying the opposition. Raced by Mr. George Cronitis. Good on you, George. Great supporter of racing, George Cronitis, with Mrs. L. Keenan. Dr. R.J. Thompson carries George's colours, the dark blue with a white diamond and sleeve. A 7-year-old Bay Gelding by Oak Ridge out of Minrula, trained at Flemington by Graham Rogers and ridden by Michael Patton, pays $11.10 and $3.50. Defeats number 8, I'm Looking Good, at $2.70. Number 9, Third Force Toss at $4.70. And there's the picture with Tennessee Oak passing the poster winner from I'm Looking Good. Then Force Toss behind them, Maybe Rough. And Leading Bounty was very disappointed today, despite the fact he had a lot of weight advantage on the others. He only plodded all the way and running. He was one of the tail-enders throughout, as you saw, and only made up a little ground in the run home. He's just there ahead of the grey on the fence, which is Reba Dice. And Tennessee Oak, too good. In the first of the day, 3:29 in the hurdle. Numbers are 15, the winner, Tennessee Oak, defeating number 8, I'm Looking Good. Number 9, Force Toss is third, back to Rod. And the second event coming up, the Vic Health 1000 at 5 after 11.
And John, with that race coming up, which is down the straight course, is there any tip at all which side of the track they're going to go to today?
The reports are it's pretty even across from the outside to the inside, right? We saw that on Saturdays, you know, those two horses electing to come down the flat side, and they've run first and second.
Yeah.
I'm told the going's pretty even right across the track.
Fair enough. So that does augur well for today's racing. Righto, that's the first of 10 at Flemington today on Cup Day. We're doing the week today. In the hurdle at Flemington, number 15, Tennessee Oak, ridden by Mick Patton for Graham Rogerson, $11.10 and $3.50. Number 8, I'm Looking Good, $2.70, and number 9, Force Toss, $4.70. The Quinella, $50.80, and the trifecta, $1,729.30. And that is a gauge of what the pools are going to be like today on Cup Day. They'll be big. The second at Flemington is right on starting time. They haven't lined up. The win pool on Super Tab is up to 398,000. Minimal is $8.50. Randy's Rancher, $8.90. Lord of the Pines is $6. The very well bred, though, True Blonde Tote favourite at $2.80. If she's as quick as her brother, she'll be something to bet on. Anyway, some extra jockeys for the programme today at Flemington. In the third, number 10, Appreciable, to be ridden by Brett Preble. And in the seventh, Kirkbird is Darren Gauchi. And in the seventh, Hit and Giggle is Greg Hall, which I'm sure we had earlier in the late mail. The highly efficient Sarah doesn't miss much. Right, you're watching Melbourne Cup Day today. This very early start to racing at Flemington, 10:30 the running of the first, which was the hurdle. And we're coming up now to race 2 on the program, where they are running a shade late. There's a couple of gear adjustments, or at least one going on behind them. At the market for the Melbourne Cup. Now, strangely, Might and Power, who's retaining favouritism, of course, at 4-1, and I suppose little wonder going on his Caulfield Cup romp. Doremus is second favourite at 7-1, and Doremus was backed by Lloyd Williams, the principal of the Crown Casino, to win $1 million. Or a bit more than $1 million, actually, 1.6. Ebony Grove, it was backed for $1 million. Linesman and Marble Halls are on the third line of betting at 8-1. Significantly, Lee Friedman has said today he thinks Doremus is the pick of his 3, but trainers have been wrong before. Alpha has stayed remarkably firm in the market at 12-1. And the imported horse, one of the Friedman team, Always Aloof, is at 12-1. Markham, a $16 chance. And then it's pretty long odds, the others. There's 50-1 Sapio. Interesting, there was a bit of money for the English importation, Arabian Story, the Queen's horse. But there's the lineup from the call of the card. But the Caulfield Cup winner, it is a firm favourite at 4-1. Now, they finally moved in at Flemington for the second. There's still a couple to go into line. True Blonde is all the rage in the betting with the bookies and on the tote as we join John Russell.
Righto, getting set here. Thank you, Rod. And here is Singer in the Rain about to come up. True Blonde, all the rage here at 290, a newcomer by Naturalism. And it looks a nice type too. Cost $250,000 as a yearling out of Easy Date, the dam of Quick Score. So on the dam side, she's bred for speed. Naturalism, of course, was a stayer. He was unlucky in the derby of his particular year. I think he then came out and won the AJC derby in the following autumn. Lord of the Pines has gone in. Pride of Piermont standing next to the outside rail. True Blonde next to Long Mr. Miller. Look for Mars. Stands in well. Monde Rouge, an empty stall there. Lord of the Pines. Conradin, minimal stand up well. Abrazar moving up, and Mr. Selby will be one of the last. Moves in now. Gates look to be set. Randy's Rancher is in. And they're set to go race 2 here on this big card at Flemington. True Blonde, the favourite. Drawn second from the outside rail. Monde Rouge makes a good line. Randy's Rancher. Good run here in the Maribyrnong trial. Finished on strongly. Trained by James Riley, Lord of the Pines. Trained by Peter Hayes, who scratched his other one, Rose's Image. Conradin, they're off. On the outside, True Blonde was the first into stride from Mr. Miller. Singer in the Rain began well. Now, some of them hitting towards the flat side rail. It's noticeable. One of them there is Amadeo, showing early speed with Abrazar, and in behind them, going forward, Mr. Selby, followed by Minimal and Teosito. They're the 5 on the inside. And down the outside rail now. And the leader here, one of them is Mr. Miller with True Blonde, touching the outside rail almost. And just in behind them, Singer in the Rain and Monde Rouge behind them. They're followed by Randy's Rancher and Conradin further back. Lord of the Pines, followed by Look for Mars. 2 divisions onto the course proper. Amadeo leads the way, a length and a half Minimal, followed by Mr. Selby, Abrazar and Teosito, and down the grandstand side, True Blonde looks to be travelling well. About a length in advance here of Mr. Miller, and just in behind them, Singer in the Rain running on, followed by Teosito and Lord of the Pines. They're on the course proper, 200 metres left to go. Amadeo tackled by Minimal, and on the outside, it's True Blonde, the leader, as they come down with about 100 metres left to go. Minimal on the inside, and Amadeo and True Blonde right over on the outside is grabbing them, and True Blonde, I think, is one on the outside rail from Minimal and Amadeo. Close up down the grandstand side there, Pride of Piermont, followed by Randy's Rancher. Further back in the field, then at the head of the others would be back behind them, Singer in the Rain, followed by further back Conradin, Lord of the Pines and Monde Rouge and Mr. Miller, and Teosito back at the tail of the field. Stand by for placings. True Blonde coming down the grandstand side, and the 2 on the inside as we wait for all numbers coming up. Here's the finish. Gee, they're hard to work out, these races, with 2 sections coming down, and number 16 is the winner, True Blonde. Now you'll see True Blonde right down the outside, leading the division clearly out there. She was always travelling well, and the judge has called for a photo for 2nd and 3rd. Now, True Blonde is the one down the grandstand side, and there are the 2, Minimal and Amadeo. Gee, they can be deceptive. True Blonde here on the grandstand side, going on to score, and another photo called. Now that's Pride of Piermont is close up. It could have even run a place, Pride of Piermont. It's the one with the yellow and black colours down the grandstand side, and looking at that, it may have even run 3rd behind Minimal, who looks to have run 2nd. Looking at our picture here, as you see, with Minimal there, and Pride of Piermont down the grandstand side, and Amadeo's over on the inside. Number 11 is 2nd. Pride of Piermont's got 2nd. Gee, that's deceptive. Pride of Piermont, the one coming down the outside, has run 2nd, and 3rd place into number 1, Minimal, and Amadeo must be only inches away in 4th place. So all placings after the running of the Vic Health 1000, victory to True Blonde, a newcomer, well-backed favourite for the race, beating Pride of Piermont, coming down the grandstand side, number 11, ridden by Danny Brereton, and 3rd place into number 1, Minimal, ridden by Darren Gauci, officially 4th. That will be Amadeo, I fancy. And it's $2.90 and $1.50 for True Blonde. Heavily back favourite here. Beautifully bred filly by Naturalism out of Easy Date, raced by the Segenhoe Stud Syndicate, managed by Mr. Michael Sicilian and I.F. Harvey, and trained by Lee Friedman. Ridden by Damien Oliver. $2.90, $1.50 defeats number 11, Pride of Piermont. $2.60. Third, number 1, Minimal, Darren Gauci, and officially fourth was Amadeo. And the time, 58.4. Back to Rod, and race number 3 here is the 1 to 3 Find Handicap, 1,700 metres at 11.45.
And John, I ideally hope in the Melbourne Cup they don't spread out like that across the track.
Gee, you wouldn't want them, would you, Rod?
That's amazing. But anyway, well, and I suppose what's the best part of the track, the inside or the outside? The answer's a pineapple, isn't it? As you said, it does look pretty uniform.
Well, that's the call. It's even right across from the outside to the inside, which is shown there.
Nothing had an advantage, regardless of where they were. Just True Blonde was a shade too good.
That's right.
That's our go, Don. Find a True Blonde. Well, we've all got fantasies. One of the fantasies, of course, is to pick the winner of the Melbourne Cup.